Come, please. Just move down a bit. Just go too far that you can't hear. Yes, I'll be a bit further down the bus, please. Yes. Okay. All right. Yes. I would like you all to be within earshot. All right. On Tuesday, and I think you're getting the gist of the theme that is running through today's site. On Tuesday, we celebrated Emancipation Day. And I really wondered what the word emancipation means to you all. Again, as I threw out the challenge earlier, if I were to give everyone a piece of paper and ask you to write it down, I'll collect quite a mix of answers. But anyway, without beating around the bush, I do not believe, from what I've read and seen and so on, that something like 1% of Barbadians take the word emancipation seriously. And this is more or less through my own eyes. I'm speaking personally now. And the reason for saying that is this. We have an emancipation statue along the ABC highway, which everyone refers to as the Bassa roundabout. We had a day off on Tuesday to celebrate emancipation, a day on which one would expect that one and all would spend at least 5 minutes looking at the meaning of the word, thinking about what it actually means to us all, and thinking about all our forefathers who delivered so much to this land of ours. I just wonder whether we all did something like that, or whether in fact we chose to celebrate the day, wining, dining, and everything else, picnicking, eating, putting on weight, and we couldn't give two hoots about what life was like between 1628 and, let us be honest, let us say 1940. Because not a lot had changed in Barbados between 1834 and 1937. Not a lot had changed. And that led to the riots and when they burnt down Bridgetown. And it was another couple of years after the British government had set up the Moyne Commission to look into the causes of the riot that something began to happen. So life went on until, say, 1940. Does it mean anything to us all? That, look, the first settlers, the first residents came here, and on their way, they captured some slaves and brought with them. They turned Barbados into a penal colony. They decided that those persons who had committed crimes, the young offenders in the UK, should be sent here for hard labor that we refer to as indentured servants. But you know what? They couldn't hack it. The conditions were far too tough. The waterborne diseases saw to that, and life expectancy was short. They realized that the slaves they had captured could hack it and could turn this place from a dense tropical forest into agricultural land. Come up the mid-1630s and they said, no, the route must be from Africa here. And I'll give you a précis of it, because we haven't got time. But some of these slaves were sold and resold before they got to the West Departure Port in Africa. Those who couldn't hack it across the Atlantic because of the tough conditions were thrown overboard to feed the fish in order to save rations for those whom they thought would make it. Those who made it were then sold into slavery here to work 6 days a week from morning till night, eating potato and cassava and dried saltfish 7 days a week, with no choice, no liberty at all. Does that not mean anything to us all? Should we not be forced, duty bound, to spend 5 minutes on Emancipation Day reflecting on what they went through for us? All we did was to lose Barbados 1 day's productivity, man, woman, and child. That's all we did on Tuesday. No one opened his hymn book and sang that song that was written by the ship's captain, who saw the light, changed his ways, and wrote that beautiful hymn, Amazing Grace. It would bring tears to our eyes if we had done that. I don't believe we did. Buried somewhere over there is a man by the name of Joshua Steele. It's an unmarked grave, but the church records for 1797 show that he was buried somewhere over there. Had it not been for Joshua Steele, who inherited Kendall Plantation on the rebound because he happened to marry Margaret, who owned the plantation, and she died shortly after, and he came here at 70 plus, slavery would not have been abolished in 1834, you know. It would have taken longer. Fortunately for all those people, and all those, we just come from the Quaker burial site, those people who came here to educate and not to be subjected to the sort of conditions there who pleaded for leniency. Joshua Steele knew a lot of the higher-ups by Christian names. He used to move in their circles. But when he came here, he changed just like that ship's captain. And he started to unshackle it from Kendall. All the other guys threatened to kill him. Said he doesn't know anything about plantation life in Barbados. He's an old fool, 70 plus. He can't tell us what to do. We've been through it all. But had it not been for him, it would have gone on a lot longer. I brought you here so that if you didn't spend a minute on Tuesday, you can do it now. And I don't want you to do it now just because you're in this audience. If you mean it from your inner heart of hearts, you will spend 1 minute silence reflecting personally on what emancipation means to you. If it means anything to you, I'm going to ask you to stay where you are for 1 minute silence, and you reflect personally on what those people went through for you. If you are not going to do it from your inner heart of hearts, you can just step aside. No one is going to ask any questions. So, now is the time to make the choice. We'll have 1 minute silence while we reflect on all those who have gone before.